Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for coming to Yogalates. My name is Emma, for those of you I don't know, and I'm so excited to be teaching again. As I said, like when people were joining, 1 week of not teaching was too much. I miss it so much already. And this class is recorded, but none of your names or your faces or anything will be recorded. And I'll stop the recording at the end. If you want to stay and talk to me, I'd love to talk to you or answer any questions, and that won't be on the recording either. I'm going to read the waiver and we'll go ahead and get started. In order to make these classes as freely accessible to our participants as possible, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you move nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you're participating in a class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started in child's pose. It's bringing your big toes together, knees wide, and melting your chest down towards your mat. Starting to release your forehead down. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Releasing your day and your week here. I know we're all super busy, and this is just a time to think about just yourself and your breath, knowing how important it is to make time for your mind and your body. Spreading those fingertips wide, pressing your hips further back towards your heels. Releasing your shoulders away from your ears. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Knowing that any point during class, you're welcome to come back to this pose, child's pose, and reconnect with your breath. Walking both hands over towards the right, pressing your left hand on top of your right hand, opening up those muscles in between your ribs. Coming back to center and going over towards the left, pressing that right hand on top of your left hand. Coming back to center, and then coming up to tabletop with your knees right underneath your hips and your shoulders right above your wrists. Spreading those fingertips wide, pulling that core up and in. You all look great. Start to drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, look up towards the ceiling. And exhale into cat, looking towards your thighs, arching your back. Good. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale, cat. And exhale. Into cat again. Both things are called cat. Coming back to that neutral spine, and then start to extend that right arm and left leg. Good. Tapping your fingers and toes down. Inhale, extend, and exhale, squeeze elbow to knee. Good. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Let's do 1 more of those at your own pace. And then releasing that hand and knee down, switching sides, extending that left arm and right leg. Good. Tapping down. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Good. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. 1 more at your own pace. moving with your own breath. Releasing that hand and knee down, crossing your ankles, coming back to a seat. I'm going to turn and face you guys. Starting to take some wrist circles here. Just loosening up those joints. And then switching directions. Then bring your hands into little tiny fists and then extend your fingers as much as you can. And keep going like that, kind of fast, helping to strengthen that tendon that runs down your forearm into your wrist, helping to prevent injuries. Now start bringing your thumb inside of your fist and then do the same thing. Good, and then taking some shoulder rolls towards the front of the room. And then towards the back of the room. Warming up your body here. Good, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Keep rolling those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Coming up to center, bring that left ear to your left shoulder. Coming up to center, let's do each side one more time, going over to the right. You can move around a little bit, kind of looking down towards your shoulder, and then looking back out in front of you. And coming back up to center, going over towards the left. Again, you can look down towards your left shoulder, and then out in front of you. Coming back up to center, look down towards your lap, interlacing your fingers behind your head, very, very gently pulling down so you feel that extra stretch in the back of your neck. Inhaling, open your elbows out to the sides, looking up. Imagine you're sunbathing on a beach. And exhale, curl into that little ball. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last time, inhale. And exhale. This time when you inhale, release and bring your arms all the way out and up. Exhale through heart center and down. Good. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale, stay at the top. Going over to one side, bringing either your hand or your forearm down to the ground, stretching out your side body here. Keeping both hips on the ground, really extending that top arm. Then coming back up to center, going over to the other side, stretching out that side body. Trying to rotate your shoulders up towards the ceiling. There's Charlie. Coming back up to center, and then fold forward over your crossed legs. Rocking back and forth, stretching out your lower back and your hips. Coming back up to center, bringing your feet into a butterfly as close in towards you as you can. Sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders back. And then if you would like to, folding forward, maybe not as far as you would normally go since we're just warming up. Coming up to center, bringing your feet away from you. So now you have a diamond in between your legs. Lengthen your spine. And then fold forward, bring your head towards your feet. Feeling this stretch more in your outer hips and maybe your back, as opposed to when your feet are closer in, you feel that maybe more in your inner thighs. Also, if you don't feel any of the stretches I say where you technically are supposed to feel them, that's totally fine. As long as you're stretching something and it's not hurting, it's great. Coming up to center, and then bringing your feet together, lengthening your legs out in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall, and then folding forward, just bringing your hands next to your legs for a gentle forward fold. Those of you who have taken my classes before know that I always like to do at least a couple stretches at the beginning that gets into your connective tissue or your fascia, because that is a really important part in flexibility as well as the muscles. And it's important to do that before you warm up your muscles, or else you're just stretching your muscles. Coming up to center, crossing your legs again, then bring your hands down with your fingertips facing your body and your palms facing down, kind of rocking side to side, stretching out those forearms. And then flipping your palms over so your fingertips are still facing you and your palms are facing the ceiling. Coming back up to center, shaking out those wrists. Last thing, in this seated position, we're going to twist towards the right. Bring that left arm across your right thigh. Coming back to center, twisting towards the left. Coming back to center, and then back into that tabletop. Really engaging that core. And then start to tuck your toes under, pressing back to a downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet. You can move your hips from side to side, just moving however feels comfortable to you. Even here in downward facing dog, try to roll your shoulders away from your ears. Pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb. Then start to inhale up to your tippy toes and exhale your heels down. Good, inhale up, exhale lower. Last time, inhale and exhale. Looking forward towards your hands, start to walk your feet forward to a forward fold. Just hanging out here, you can bend your knees. You can grab onto opposite elbows and sway side to side. You can nod your head yes and no, helping to release your spine and your neck. And then releasing that bind. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. Your head is the last thing to come up. When you get to the top, inhaling your arms out and up. Exhaling your hands to heart center and closing your eyes. Pausing here. Feeling your feet connected to the earth. That micro bend in your knees. Your core is pulling up and in. Shoulders are rolling back. Relaxing your face. Relaxing your eyes and the little muscles next to your eyes. Releasing your forehead. Taking a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Notice the difference in your body between now and when we started class just a few minutes ago. And thank yourself for making this difference. Let's take one more deep inhale. Fill all the way up. Exhale it all out. Slowly start to open your eyes. Inhale your arms out and up. And exhale into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, stepping back to plank, holding here, starting to warm up our core. Really pressing into your hands. Imagine you could press the ground away from you. And then start to bring your knees down to the ground, still keeping your body in one line. And then with your elbows hugging in towards your body, Lower your body down to the ground nice and slowly. Inhale up to baby cobra. Using your chest and back muscles to lift you up. You could lift your hands off the ground because there's no weight in them. And exhale, lower down. Inhale up to cobra. So there's a little bend in your elbows, but you're a little higher this time. There's a little weight in your hands. And exhale, lower down. Inhale up to upward facing dog or cobra. If you're an upward facing dog, try to get your thighs off the mat so the only things touching the mat are your hands and your feet. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet here. Then coming down into a tabletop, we're going to start to work into your glutes. So coming down onto your forearms, if that's comfortable to you, start to extend that right leg back behind you, making sure your hips are square. Lower those toes down to the ground and then lift your leg up as much as you can without arching your back. Really focusing on that point where your hamstring connects into your glute muscle. Trying to use your core as well as your glutes to lift your leg up. Let's keep going for 5, 4, 3, last 2. Last one, hold at the top and pulse that leg higher. Really engaging that core, pressing up and out of your shoulders just like you were in plank. Just this time your arms are bent. And then hold that leg at the top of a pulse, bend your knee and extend. Good, bend, extend. Trying to keep that leg at the same level the whole time. Keep breathing here. Let's do 2 more of these. Pause with your leg bent, and you're going to pulse that leg up and down. Coming into a little donkey kick variation. Moving nice, slow, and controlled here. Either point or flex your toe, either way, keeping your foot super engaged. Last 3, 2, last 1. Bring your knees together. Coming up onto your hands. Start to tap that knee down on the other side of your left leg, and then open your knee out for a fire hydrant. Good, tap it down on the other side, open for a fire hydrant. Keep going like that at your own pace. Crossing the midline of your body is really good for your muscles, but also for your brain, because if your movements have to be done with like your left brain and your right brain, it helps to make those neural pathways. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Bring your knees back together, taking a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And we're going to go to the other side, bringing those elbows down to the ground again, extending that left leg behind us this time. Starting with that great foundation that we gave the other side, pulling that core up and in. Start to tap your toe down and lift it up as much as you can without arching your back. Trying to square your hips, making sure your left hip isn't up, really evening them out. Let's keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold at the top and pulse that leg higher. Again, either pointing or flexing your toe, and you can also switch in between them, just doing whatever is comfortable for you. Keep pulsing for 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, bend that knee, then extend. Good, bend and extend. Trying to keep your thigh exactly where it is. Then pause with that bent knee and pulse your leg up and down, trying to go from like 90 degrees to a little bit above that. Try not to let your knee come all the way down to the ground. Do 4 more nice, good pulses. Last 3, 2, 1. Bringing your knees back together. Coming back up onto your hands. Tapping that knee on the outside of your right leg this time, and then opening up to a fire hydrant. Good, so you're going to tap down and open. Tap and open. Feeling your obliques engage when you lift your leg to the side, as well as working your side hip muscle. Let's take 2 more, then we're going to stretch out the muscles we just worked. The last one, okay. Coming back to that tabletop, coming back to a child's pose with your knees together and your arms behind you. Releasing your forehead down to the ground. Then we're going to come up on our mat, sitting down so we can bring our legs wide. You can turn the long way on your mat if you would like. Sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders back, making sure that your feet are flexed and really going towards the back, not caving in, because that helps protect your knees. You can start to fold forward if you would like to, helping to stretch your inner thighs as well as your hips. This can also get into your lower back too. Then moving both hands over towards the right, stretching over that right leg. Then bringing that right forearm inside of your right thigh, extending that left arm up towards the ceiling. Either stay here or extend that left arm all the way up and over towards that foot. It doesn't have to reach your foot, just aiming for that direction. Coming back through center and over towards the left this time. Make sure you keep flexing your feet. And then bringing that left arm down inside of your left leg, extending that right arm up, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. And then if you would like to, reaching towards that foot. Trying to open your shoulders up towards the ceiling no matter where you are. Coming back through center and then press yourself back all the way up to a seat. Bring your feet out in front of you and then bring your right knee into your chest, really hugging it in. This helps to stretch out that side hip muscle that we were working in the fire hydrants. Keep flexing that left foot, sitting up nice and tall. Then keep hugging your knee and twist towards the right, looking over your right shoulder. Coming back to center, switching legs, hugging that left leg in towards you, flexing your right foot out long. Rolling those shoulders back. And then twisting towards the left, looking over your left shoulder. Coming back to center, and then just crossing your legs, coming into a comfortable seat, and we're going to start working on our arms. You can sit like this, or you can also sit on your knees or switch in between, or sit any way you want. Rolling those shoulders down and back, we're going to start to extend our arms up and down. All of these exercises are going to look like deceptively, I think that's the word, easy, but they're actually really difficult if you're engaging your muscles, creating that mind-muscle connection, and doing a lot of them. Try to inhale on your way up and exhale on your way down. But as always, if that doesn't feel good to you, just don't even worry about doing that. Then pause at the top, come halfway down and all the way up. Good, halfway down and up. Trying to pull your core in so you're not letting your ribs like expand out. You're like pulling them in like they're knit together. And then pause halfway down. We're going to go the other half down and up. You should be starting to feel this on your shoulders. This also works those muscles that are in and around your collarbone. Let's take 2 more of these. Last one. Now we're going to come to like goalpost arms. Bring your arms halfway down and then all the way up. Good, halfway down and up. Trying to keep your arms at 90-degree angles. Let's do 2 more of these. And then the other half down. Good, so all the way down and then up to halfway. Remember, you can always switch how you're sitting if your feet are starting to hurt. I don't know if you just heard that weird noise. That was my dog. Don't really know what he was doing, but imagine you're like pressing a pool of water away behind you. Let's do 2 more. Then bringing your arms out from your shoulders at diagonal lines down. We're going to cross our arms over, out, and over the other way. Good, moving kind of fast, making sure your arms stay completely straight. Coming into crossovers here. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Coming into C shape. So we're going to draw some C's in the air, really rotating our pinkies underneath. Good. Again, broadening your collarbones, rolling your shoulders down and back, engaging your core, staying with that good form. We're almost done with our arms. We're going to come into our second to last arm exercise. This one's kind of weird, but just go with it. Bringing your hands out to the side. You're just going to bend your arms a little and then like punch out, and you're going to do it fast. Just like punching out to the sides. Good, really making sure that your shoulders stay down. Good, you all look amazing. Keep going for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last exercise, we're going to come into tricep press things. So bring your hands by your hips and then press your triceps back, really engaging them. Trying to lift your hands up as high as they can go. Last 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, releasing your shoulders, taking some shoulder rolls forward and back. Releasing your wrists, taking some circles in both directions. And then stretching that right arm across your body, making sure that you're not pressing on your elbow joint. You can be above or below it, and trying to still keep that right shoulder down so you get more of a stretch. Then stretching your tricep, bringing that arm up. Switching sides, stretching that left arm across. Then stretching that tricep. Releasing that, coming back into tabletop. Coming into happy puppy, bringing your hands forward, releasing your forehead down to the ground. Trying to keep your hips and your knees exactly where they were in tabletop. Taking one more breath in here. One more breath out. Good, coming back up into that tabletop pose. Tucking your toes under and pressing back to downward facing dog. Bring that right foot forward into low lunge so your left knee comes down to the ground. Making sure that your knee is right above or kind of right behind your ankle. And bringing your hands onto your thigh. Rolling those shoulders back. And then keeping that right arm on your right thigh, extending that left arm up and over. Bring your hands back down and pressing back for half split, straightening that front leg. Trying to square your hips here. Bending back into that low lunge. Tucking your back toes under, stepping back to plank and back to downward facing dog, just to switch sides. Bringing that left foot forward. Your right knee comes down to the ground. You can kind of move around, stretching out that right hip flexor. Then bring your hands up onto your thigh. Leaving that left arm on your left leg, extending your right arm up and over. Bring your hands back down, coming back to half splits. And coming back into that low lunge, tucking your back toes under, coming back into that downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet here, looking forward towards your hands, Start to walk your feet through, coming down to a seat, making sure you have enough room to lie down, and then one vertebrae at a time, coming down to your mat. Good. We're going to come in to a little bit of an ab section of class. So bringing your hands interlaced behind your head, just crunch up as high as you can, then come down. Normal crunches, just moving super slowly. Moving nice, slow, and controlled, looking up towards the sky. It's like you have an orange in between your chin and your chest, so you're not crunching your neck. Just 2 more of these. And then start to bring your knees over towards the left and keep doing those same crunches, starting to get into your obliques. And then switching sides, bring your knees over towards the right. Keep going with those crunches. Last 3, 2, last 1. Coming back to center, bringing your knees up so your shins are parallel to the ground, and then start to tap one toe down, coming back, tapping the other toe down. Making sure that your knees are really going, like the knee that's tapping down is going out and away from you instead of just tapping your toe right next to your butt, because then you're not really working your abs. Trying to pull your core down towards the ground, so you're really pressing your lower back into the ground. You can also try tapping your heels down, so like flexing your feet and having your heels be what's hitting the ground. Some people like feel that more or less, so just depends on what you like better. Last one on each side. Then staying in that like 90-degree angle thing with your legs, bring your hands up, straight out from your shoulders, then bring your opposite arm and opposite leg down and back up. Good, opposite side down to a hover and back up. Keep going, switching sides in these dead bugs or bird dogs. These are again really good for your lower abs. Try to keep your lower back connected to the ground. Relaxing your shoulders. Two more on each side. And bringing your feet down to the mat, crunching your shoulders off the mat, bring your hands to your sides. We're going to come into penguins or heel touches. So you just bring your hands to your heels, going from side to side, really working your obliques. Looking up towards the sky in front of you. Keep going for 3, 2, last 1. Good. Bring that right leg up, really flexing your foot. Bring it down to a hover, then back up towards the sky until you feel a stretch in your hamstring. Good. And then go down to the ground and back up. Good. Keep going like that. Kind of a multitasking exercise. You're getting a stretch and a strengthening thing in the same exercise. Let's do 2 more on this leg. And then switching sides, that left leg goes up to the sky, coming down to a hover and back up. Moving with your own breath here. You all are doing so well. You're so strong. You're also stronger than you think you are. Three more on this leg. Last two. Last one. Good. Keep both feet planted on the mat, interlacing your hands behind your head, and then crunch your opposite elbow to your opposite knee. Come back to center, going to the other side. Good. Back to center, opposite elbow to opposite knee, and back to center. This is our second to last ab exercise. You definitely got it. Let's take two more to each side. Last one. Good, releasing that for the last exercise. Extend your arms over your head, trying to keep your lower back connected to the ground. Then you're gonna bring your elbows up and try to do a little reverse crunch, bringing your knees up to touch your elbows. And then release back down. Good, bring your arms up, reverse crunch, knees to elbows, arms back down. Keep going at your own pace. The higher you get that little reverse crunch, the more you're working your abs. Let's take three more. Last two. Last one. Then stretching your arms and legs out long, really extending your abs, releasing them. Then hugging your knees into your chest, rocking side to side, releasing your back. Putting your hands on your knees, taking your knees in little circles, helping to release your lower back. And then switching directions of your circles. Then extending your arms out to a T, bringing your knees over towards the left, looking over your right arm. Whenever you're doing twists, you should twist towards the left first because it's better for your digestion. Doesn't really matter too much, but if you remember, it's a good thing to know. You can also bring your arms to like goalpost arms if you feel like that stretches out your shoulders a little more. Trying to release all your muscles, just letting gravity do the work here. Coming back up to center, and then bring your knees over towards the right, looking over towards the left. Coming back up to center, then coming into happy baby, grabbing onto the outside edges of your feet, letting your lower back go down towards the ground, trying to connect your tailbone and your shoulders to the ground. Then bring your feet down to the mat with your feet together and your knees wide. One hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. If you want, you can press into your thighs with your hands, trying to press your upper body away from your lower body. This helps release the tension in between your lower vertebrae. And then when you're ready, starting to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat, knowing that all your hard work is done and all you have to do here is relax in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Stretching your arms over your head for one final full body stretch. Hugging your knees into your chest, thanking yourself for coming to practice today. Rolling over onto your right side. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat with your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming to Yogalates. I hope you liked it. I love teaching this class. It really is my favorite class. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have a favorite, but here we go. And I hope to see you next week. I'm going